Hi everyone, welcome back. Welcome to the new subscribers. It's great to be back here myself. Now, question to you. Were you born with Mercury in Aquarius in your natal chart? If you were, you are going to have a transit from Pluto conjuncting your natal Mercury in Aquarius. Now, also, you could be having an opposition or a square if your Mercury, an opposition, is in Leo, a square if your Mercury at birth was in Taurus or Scorpio. And this is what you guys will be experiencing for the next 20 odd years, okay? But remember, with Pluto, there's a 3-degree orb on either side of the degree where your Mercury was at birth, okay, that degree. So I'm making this video and releasing this video when transit Mercury leaves Capricorn and ingresses into Aquarius to conjunct Pluto for the very, very first time. For all of us, no one has experienced Mercury conjunct Pluto in Aquarius. So I'm releasing this video now, and I'm not going to be talking about that today. I'm going to be talking about the actual transit of Pluto conjuncting your natal Mercury. Now, you can also listen if you're Leo Mercury, Taurus Mercury, or Scorpio Mercury, okay? There's a little difference to it, but the energies are still the same. All right, so let's settle in. So just to recap, I've pulled a few keywords from Pluto's energy, to help to describe how Pluto can affect the mind, Mercury. All right, because we're talking personally. We're not talking collectively, we're talking personally, individually here, and we all have a mind. All right, so with Pluto, some of the key words that could affect this conjunction, opposition, or square is Pluto carries the energy of obsession. And with Mercury, it'd be obsessive thoughts. Pluto dredges, filters out the goodness to help us release what isn't serving us. Pluto is power. So whatever isn't serving us, whatever we are giving our power away to, if Pluto, our transit of Pluto is there to empower us, to make us aware of where we are giving our power away. Pluto is also darkness, the Lord of darkness. Okay, there's great myths, considering we're talking about Mercury. There's lots of lovely stories to try to understand the energy of Pluto from a cerebral, mental perspective. However, here in this channel, what we come to understand is the energy of Pluto, so we can integrate that energy even after Pluto has left that 3-degree orb of our natal Mercury in Aquarius, Leo, Taurus, or Scorpio. Pluto also rules transformation. So the birth of something new, and then it transforms and it dies, only to be reborn again. Okay, so the changing, the alchemizing of one energy, transforming it into another. Pluto rules Scorpio, which is a water sign. So some of the energy of Pluto we can relate to our friends who are Scorpios and the archetype of the Scorpio. Now let's look at Mercury. Now, has anyone ever held Mercury or touched Mercury? I think it's the most fascinating metal. It doesn't look like water, it looks like silver, and it acts like water. It rolls around, it flows like water, Mercury. Okay, Mercury rules Gemini. an air sign. And with Mercury in Aquarius, Aquarius is also an air sign. So we can imagine Mercury, the thoughts with Pluto, you know, these running, rambling thoughts until we can get to the depth. But anyway, we'll get to that. So the fluidity is Mercury. The butterfly, the gathering of information and moving on. The mind is always moving on. The mind is always busy until we harness our mind and come into alignment with our mind and our heart. The mind is busy, and the mind will just throw any thought out there about any topic, but also the mind is the key to what else is in the subconscious. Things that we're not aware of, thoughts and beliefs that we're not aware of yet, until Pluto's energy comes along to dredge up the subconscious. Now, I spoke about the subconscious in the Pluto transit to the moon. But also we need to talk about it with the mind, because the moon and Mercury are personal planets. If you have your Mercury in Aquarius, then, and this is just for Aquarius, not the other fixed signs. If you have your Mercury in Aquarius, then the sun isn't too far away, okay? Your moon could be anywhere around the zodiac. But if your Mercury's in Aquarius, then the sun isn't too far away. And Venus isn't too far away. And Mars isn't too far away, unless Venus and Mars are way out of bounds from the sun. So if you're having this Pluto transit to your natal Mercury in Aquarius, you can betcha that previous to this transit or in the future, you're going to experience an even deeper dredging of your subconscious through your ego, the sun, if your moon's close, through your emotional body. If Venus, in the future or the past, you may have experienced a relationship overhaul. And Mars, your approach to life, your independence, your I am presence. So this is a big one. And this will come into a great big Pluto transformation with your natal Sun, Venus, and Mars. So Mercury rules Gemini and Virgo. And I think of Mercury just as it swirls all over the place like water, the least resistance Mercury will go. The mind will just keep going. It'll dodge like a butterfly from one flower to the next, giving out energy and information. Mercury rules communication. So the fluidity from A to B, from one spot to another. And if we talk about it personally, Mercury would rule our way of communicating to others, and also the way that we hear others. So let's get into looking at what can happen when Pluto makes a challenging, hard aspect to your natal Mercury, okay, in Aquarius. And we're talking Leo, Taurus, and Scorpio for this section here now. Okay, now I have had this experience in 2014-15, and I will tell you that at some points I thought I was going insane, and I thought that the thought was there that maybe I needed to admit myself into the psych ward. However, because I study astrology, I'm a seeker, because I'm able to meditate, and I know I have a power higher than myself. I was able to restrain the panic to admit myself or to call an ambulance. Okay, I'm not giving you any medical advice here. I'm just saying for myself, I knew that what was happening was the transformation of my mind. However, I did feel, and there is comments in this channel's videos, that other subscribers, part of our community here, did feel that they also were going insane with their Pluto transit. And with that, if there's a lot of loss and family dysfunction that needs to be dredged up, like from the subconscious to the mind, so that we can see what we actually think, and then we can judge whether that is actually our true self, or is that a pattern or a belief system that we were taught when we were younger. So it's big. Pluto transit to conjunct your natal Mercury, it's big. So dreams. Now, dreams are sort of put in the basket with the moon. However, when we have a dream and we wake up the next morning, it is our mind that reoccurs the dream back to people. We're telling people, we're communicating. We either think of it in pictures or we can think of it in feelings. However, we're using our mind to communicate that dream back to others. Now, when Pluto's involved with the dredging, there comes an understanding that as light as we are, there is shadow, yin and yang. And some of us who have good hearts and believe we're good people sometimes don't believe that that we could ever do anything wrong. It's, especially in this life, in modern life, when we have evolved so much. I am going to share some experiences, and they really do leave me vulnerable. As far as dreams go, I had a dream. I was actually in a relationship with a false twin flame, and that energy is still active, whether they're a real twin flame or a fake twin flame. You know, the energy's fake, but it's still there. The love isn't there, I guess you could say. But the experience is there, and the triggers were there for me. I mean, it was a great experience for me because it triggered a lot of this darkness in Mercury. Now, my Mercury is in Capricorn, so we have to remember that a Mercury in Capricorn is very different to a Mercury in Aquarius. However, if you've got Mercury in Aquarius, you may be a Capricorn. If you've got any Capricorn energy in your chart, but you're an Aquarian, you know, this still can ring true for yourself. And with a Mercury in Capricorn, we're very much into disaster thinking. And if we've come from a family where the negative was always preached, and fear, you know, and lack, then I had to stop there for a minute. If those things have been present in your life, then the disaster thinking can kick in. And, you know, if you're really, Pluto's really activating your life, like I discussed in the moon video, then all sorts of things in your story can happen. Whatever it takes, Pluto will use whatever it takes to clear the debris, the dead wood, what is no longer serving you, what is disempowering you. Pluto will use whatever in your life you would mentally grab onto to feel security. The stories you tell others, that's a key to where you lay your security as a human being. The stories you tell others. With Pluto transiting Mercury in Aquarius, past lives can come to the surface, to your consciousness, your day-to-day consciousness. You may all of a sudden decide to study astrology or sci-fi subjects. Also, technology is another area. You may want to put your mind into studies. But before that would happen, there would be a death, right? For you to step into that. There's a key here. Aquarius rules individuality. And I betcha not every Aquarian living on this planet is living in their true self on their true path. And that's because we've been conditioned. Everybody in society has been conditioned. So the mind is a pathway to decondition us, to reprogram us. But we're doing it ourselves. We're reprogramming ourselves when it comes to Pluto and Mercury. I didn't tell you about my dream. Okay, I'm going to go back and tell you about the dream and the darkness. And the twin flame, the fake twin flame. Yes, well, that fake twin flame activated a dream that that I had killed him and another gentleman he was traveling with. I was a single woman on a ranch. I had guns and I had horses. Now, we got nothing like that here in Australia, but this was real. This was totally real. I woke up as if I had shot these boys. I mean, they came to me to overpower me on my ranch and use my resources. And I was like a Calamity Jane. And I shot them both. And I buried them under a big slab of concrete. Both of them. And then months and months and months and months and months later, the sheriff come out looking for them. I said, I don't know where they are. I have no idea. I've got goosebumps telling you that. So that's like a past life dream, which really showed me that I have power, number one, to overcome two men. And I felt very disempowered at the time of the dream, though, as you'll know from watching my earlier videos. But wow, you know, there's this present person who I had spent past lives with, there's no doubt. You know, that dream, you guys, you know, you guys may have other dreams, but analyze your dreams, because they feel so real. And what they are is the digging of energy, the digging of past lives, our DNA. I jumped timelines, and that was freaky, and I don't really actually want to do that again. I'm a Capricorn. Yes, I've got Venus and Mars in Aquarius, but I'm quite happy in this timeline at the moment. Yeah, because I wasn't prepared for that. And if you've read the Celestine prophecy, well, wow, that was just true. I don't want to get into the story because I could tell you for ages. And it was a key point here, and there was off-planet energy looking after me in ships. And yeah, sounds amazing, doesn't it? But I don't boast about these things because it's only for me anyway. It was only to empower me to understand the other timelines that I exist on, and you do too. And in saying that, I'm a Capricorn, and I'm just grounded here to bring healing to others. However, I can talk about my other lives, if you want to call them that. Yeah, we'll get to that. All right, so supernatural experiences. It's the mind, remember, right? Psychosis. I've had psychosis twice, and it's very close to psychosis sometimes. But, you know, ground. You've got to be grounded with Pluto. You must ground yourself always, especially when we're dealing with the mind, especially because the mind can take us out of the body just with a simple guided meditation. Okay. Now, with Aquarius, Mercury in Aquarius, you know, Aquarius very much, I understand as genius thinking. They have that silver bulb, quick thinking, okay? So that may intensify. That may become even more intense. Your third eye might open and close, open and close, open and close, and show you a future, because Aquarius is very much the future, and Uranus rules Aquarius, the future. So, you know, write these things down. However, these things are being shown to you to dredge first. Down the track, after this transit, you will be empowered with your mind, okay? You're leveling up Your mental capacity is leveling up. Your consciousness is expanding right out to the Kuiper belt and beyond, got to say that, and beyond. So genius thinking, or just, you could be getting these snappy thoughts, not rolling thoughts, the snappy thoughts of, wow, where did that come from? I had that, and I was shown some dark stuff. We're talking Pluto here, things I really didn't want to know about people, you know, but I was shown these things for a reason. I was shown other people's darkness. And this is all for us to come to a balance, that we are light and dark. It just depends on what we, with our free will, decide to use, our dark energy or our light energy. But we're becoming, we are whole, but we are knowing ourselves through this transit, knowing ourselves more, knowing ourselves deeply, mastering ourselves. And this Pluto transit to your natal Mercury is going to empower all of what I'm speaking about here. So the obsessive thoughts, it could be about anything, but the whole idea is for Pluto to show how out of control your mind is, how just out of control it is with thoughts that just aren't even true, like the record, right? And by showing you this, you get a choice then to practice observing the mind and slowing the mind down and understanding that those thoughts don't have power. Seeing faces. I would go to bed of a night, close my eyes, and I'd have just flashing of different people's faces. I'm talking, I must have seen 1 million faces. I don't know who they were, just flashing past me. It's as if my mind was releasing many lives, many faces, just dumping. At one point also, my mind was just, I was in half asleep, half awake, and it was just shooting out like data. It felt like I couldn't catch every thought, but it was like data. It was like my mind was being emptied of a whole lot of data. Now, if any of you guys know any more about that than I do, please comment. Please help us all, because this is the first time I've actually discussed my experience with Transit Pluto conjuncting my natal Mercury in Capricorn in the 6th house. Now, we've got to understand Mercury in the 6th house isn't the most positive thinker. There's a lot of karma involved. We are undergoing service, health issues that you need your mind, you know, to be able to train your mind to think for yourself. You know, we're getting more into the self-love aspect, but the mind, you know, is so valuable. It is so valuable. And yet it can ask us to kill ourselves. And that's serious, right? That's serious. So, you know, if it gets to that point, you may need to take, you know, some sort of prescription medication. I don't know, for a little while. I'm not a doctor. I'm just know, you know, what I had to do just to get through some days, okay, to get through some days. And because all of the victim mentality was coming up for me too, because I have Saturn in Pisces, you know, and I'm the Pluto in Virgo, Geno, opposite Chiron in Pisces, you know, Pluto's conjuncting Uranus, you know, there's deep mental yuck, you know. You know, with Pluto, there's taboo topics, dark stuff that we don't like to talk about. And these things can just pop into your mind. And if you've got a pure heart, you think, my God, where did that come from? Is that me? What is that? And I'm talking, I won't even mention here how yuck some of the thoughts can come, that they come up to be accepted, not judged, right? I have a true belief we are one organism, the whole lot of us, we are all one. And all the darkness on this planet, us light workers need to take responsibility for, even though we're not acting out that way. There was lives where we experienced that darkness. We acted out, harming others with our obsessive, taboo natures, or society was not accepting our individuality, our Aquarian, our Uranian individuality. You know, it can get dark up here, get real dark, but it's for a reason. It's for a flushing out, a releasing. Otherwise, you're just carrying all that energy in our bodies. I think I'm getting close. Yeah, I'm getting close. I'm getting close. So Mercury and Aquarius, they're the genius. Social media might be a big thing, you know, Gemini, social media, and Aquarius is technology. Pluto might just say, right, get off it all. I'm not on social media. This is the only social media. Yeah, I've got profiles all around, all of them, but I'm only just me. And for me to do the best thing I can do, I'm an individual and I just want to do it the way I want to do it. I don't want to be addicted to all those. They're just distractions for me. They really are. So this is the only social media, and that's why I answer all your comments, because I'm not anywhere else. And that's why I ask you to share too, because I'm sure there's a lot of Aquarians out there that would really appreciate this information, as well as Leos and Scorpios and Tauruses. Yeah. Okay, so that social media business, I don't know how it'll play out for you. You might be totally addicted, and you need it because the mind just won't stay still. You have to have something going on in your mind all the time. Pluto's not going to like that, I'm telling you now. So that will be an issue, because you lose your power. You lose your free will. You're not centered. You're not grounded. You're living up here and you're not living here. Local area. Mercury's involved in the local area, and Aquarius is the collective community, right? So you might learn some empowering lessons about getting yourself out there, Mercury and Aquarius, into the community, because that's where you shine. That is where you shine. However, this is great. We're having the Pluto transit Aquarius, because our individuality, everybody on the planet, our individuality is still being judged. You know, we haven't even got through the sexual equality, you know, or the racism. I mean, my God. So our individualities, Aquarius, Pluto through Aquarius, is going to allow us to be free that way. Aquarius loves freedom to be themselves, but they love the community and they love the group. So you may learn lessons there. Mercury and Aquariuses. You might have these. I just had a flash. See, you might have genius flashes. You've got to write them down, because down the track, that might be your empowering gift from Pluto, your rebirth gift. So I think that's it. But I do have a disclaimer. Yes, I'm not a doctor. Please don't. I'm just sharing my experience, strength and hope, and my 40 years astrology experience, and plus my spiritual experiences as well, which I don't bang on about here. We're just sort of talking astrology. Down the track, we'll see what happens. So, you know, there's some things we can do. Number one, meditation. You have to slow the mind down. The only way to slow the mind down is to sit and focus on the breath, bring the breath into the heart, and observe the mind and the craziness, without judgment, because you're going to see some crazy. You think, what? I don't believe that thought. All right. We don't, when we meditate, we don't grab onto them, but we observe. We get to know who we are. We are these thoughts. You may need medication. As I said, I'm not going to go into that. Counseling will help you. Great. You know, talk. You may need to talk. If you're open, you know, your therapy is about talking, great. I found a great Aquarian therapist, and she was learning from me about inner child work and all of that, because she wasn't, you know, I was going through this Pluto transit. She wasn't quite there yet, and she loved it. You know, she loved it that I was able to bring that work to her. Group work, you know, group therapy. Also entheogens, ethnogens. I don't tell you to go and do that, but I did it, and I'm glad I did. I'm really glad I did, because I got to expand my consciousness. I have a Mercury in Capricorn. We're a little bit narrow, you know. So that was what I sort of needed to help me come back to my true self. Yes, definitely, definitely. Yeah. Education, you know. After this, you may be led to be empowered with educating yourself, Mercury and Aquarius, into some new area. Okay. Mercury's teaching, but we're talking down the track. Okay. Now, if you're struggling, you know, if the emotions are all coming up, you've got, I know Aquarius, Mercury and Aquarius, detached. You know, you flow, you're air, and you're with the collective. So when the emotions come up for you, you reflect, you look at why they shouldn't be there for everybody. But we've got to get a little bit more personal with the Pluto transit. More personal. So if the emotions are coming up, you need to take that time. So stick around. Please go to the playlists. There's a stack of videos that just might help soothe you if you're feeling more individual and alone than Aquarius sometimes feels. You know, but watch those thoughts. But on the other side of this, there will be an amazing rebirth of your mind. Trust me, because I'm experiencing it. So I know I've gone a little bit long here, but this is an important one. All right. And enjoy that Mercury conjunct Pluto in Aquarius for the first time ever for everybody. And we've got 20 odd more of these, over 20 more Mercury's conjunct Pluto in Aquarius. Okay, so we'll get more used to. I don't think that's right. We'll get better at integrating the energy and understanding the energy. And where Pluto's leading us, because it is a collective energy. Okay. All right, everybody. Thank you so, so much. And I wish everyone the best. Please leave a comment. Please subscribe. Please like the video. Bye. Namaste. I don't get off. Oh, there's a... Okay. I'm being silly.